it's Tika and welcome back to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you can be notified every time I post a new delicious video. So yes, I have been gone for a really long time. If you guys are following me over on Instagram, you already know it has been a crazy Christmas cookie season for me, as well as I've been working on some new content and things for you guys. And if you haven't heard about that, let me just tell you again with a little video from our sponsor. I have something very special to share with you guys. Are you ready? Check this out.
I've created 2 new videos just for you. I've partnered with Creative Fabrica to bring you these in-depth confectioning courses. Right now, for only $1 for the first month subscription, you can get the all-access deal. With this deal, you have access to not only my classes, but also other teachers' classes and over 3 million quality fonts and graphics that can be used in other projects. After your first month subscription, your account will renew at $19 a month, and don't worry, you can cancel at any time.
Creative Fabrica is extending this offer to my subscribers and my followers only. So make sure that you are clicking that link below if you want to take advantage of this deal.
Now, if you're only interested in the courses and you don't want to take full advantage of the $1 all access, do not worry. For only $7.99 a month, you can get access to all the classes on the platform using the class subscription.
So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please don't forget to click that link below to take advantage of this special offer. And I will see you guys over at creativefabrica.com. And we're back. So yes, your girl is making some incredible courses just for you guys who wanted more extensive, slow down walkthroughs on cake tickling and cookie decorating as well. So like I said, if you're interested, please click the links below and join me over at Creative Fabrica. But for now, we're just going to be focusing on these hot cocoa pops. I have been seeing for a long time all the hot cocoa bombs and the hot cocoa cups and just all these hot cocoa things, but I was like, you know what? Tika Snackery needs a hot cocoa something. And what could be better than a hot cocoa that looks like a cakesicle, because that's kind of our thing, That's kind of what we do over here. These hot cocoa pops are super easy to make. We're making them in the mold just like we would do for Cakesicles, but it's a little different because it is hot cocoa. We're going to decorate them and they're going to be amazing. So let's go ahead and make some of these hot cocoa pops.
So I'm going to be using my Cakesicle mold today, as I mentioned before. I am going to start off with a little Sweet Tooth Fairy meltables in the flavor peppermint. I'm going to add these right into my Chocolate Maker chocolate melter. I'm using about a half a bag, and this will yield you about 4 hot cocoa pops. I'm also going to be adding into my melter some milk chocolate melts from Ghirardelli, and this will yield you about 4 hot cocoa pops as well. I only used about half of the bag on this one as well. I already have my pot set to melt, so I'm just going to go ahead and start stirring and mixing this chocolate a little bit to help it along. Once everything gets nice and smooth and creamy, then I'm going to go back in with just a little spoon, and I'm going to scoop out maybe just 1 solid spoonful of this chocolate, and I'm going to add it right into my mold. Now, these are not Cakesicles, so we can be a little bit more messy today, so I'm just going to spread everything out and get it into every single corner of my mold. Now, as you can see, I have some gaps and some spaces in here, but that is not a super huge deal. My chocolate is still pretty warm, so I'm just going to take a little bit more and add it into my mold. And then I'm just going to tap it until that spot is completely full. And that looks good. So now that that's done, I'm going to grab a popsicle stick and I'm going to add it in. Now, I've mentioned before with this particular mold, it's really tight on my sticks. And since I don't have any cake to really hold my stick in place and prop it up today, what I'm going to end up doing is just taking a twisty tie so I can kind of hold this stick down in place, because I don't want it to sink into that chocolate and kind of ruin the surface of my hot cocoa pop. So Yep, just gonna take a little twisty tie and twist that on. This part is absolutely optional. You do not have to do this, but it worked for me today. So I'm going to finish up the rest of these as well, adding in the chocolate and sealing my sticks. I let them harden. It's good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling my molds with my hot cocoa. Today I am using Starbucks hot cocoa in the flavor peppermint and classic hot cocoa. Now the instructions call for about 2 tablespoons of this hot cocoa to about 8 ounces of really hot milk. So because our Cakesicles are a little on the small side, I will be using about 2 teaspoons of this hot cocoa. Otherwise, we will not be able to close these. They'll be too full. So I'm going for 2 teaspoons with the added chocolate, which is about another 2 teaspoons. It's perfectly fine. Like, it tastes so good. Don't even worry about it. So adding that powder in, and then I'm just going to take a popsicle stick and kind of level it down. And then I'm just going to tap it into place. Now I'm going to take some dehydrated marshmallows and I am just going to start adding them in for another layer. Now you can actually use like crushed candy cane, you can use sprinkles, marshmallows, whatever you want to do for this step. But the point is to get a nice solid layer so that when we seal this off, our chocolate has something to stick to instead of the hot cocoa powder. So now that I have that done, I'm just going to level it off and make sure that there's enough space for my chocolate to seal along the edges of my Cakesicle, and also make sure everything is laid flat. And once I have finished up the rest of these, then I'm just going to take another spoonful of this chocolate and I'm going to go ahead and start sealing off the back. Now, pro tip, when you are sealing off these hot cocoa pops, y'all, please just add in a little bit of chocolate at a time. It's not like Cakesicles where you can just pile on the chocolate and just scrape it off. If you try to scrape off the chocolate on these, you will ruin them. So just add gradual amounts of chocolate at a time so you'll have a nice smooth layer. Once I've gotten a nice smooth layer, I'm going to go ahead and tap that chocolate into place just a little bit and try to clean everything off with just another popsicle stick. So what we want to do is finish up the rest of these and let them harden. You can place them in the freezer for a couple of minutes or so. And once everything is nice and hard, you can gently remove them from the mold so that you can get ready to decorate. So I have some of our milk chocolate in a little piping bag. I snipped the tip really small, and I am just going to gradually drizzle a little bit of this milk chocolate over our hot cocoa pop. Now, I've mentioned these in another video and I absolutely love them. These are edible images. I will leave a link below for where I got these, but I have 1-inch rounds and I'm using a 1-inch round punch, and I'm just going to punch out this little fondant image. And there we go. I'm going to add this right onto our hot cocoa pop. Now in another piping bag, I still have a little bit more of that peppermint chocolate, and I'm just adding a layer of this right at the top of our hot cocoa pop, and I'm just going to sprinkle on some more of these dehydrated marshmallows. You can add on as many as you want. You might need a couple of layers, but once you have finished adding on as many as you think you're going to need, you can go back and start adding on sprinkles and other decorations. So I have here some sanding sugar with some Christmas sprinkles in it, and I'm just sprinkling it over top and it'll just stick to whatever chocolate is left. And then I'll finish everything off with a little green bow. You can make your own twisty tie bows or you can purchase some. I do have a link in my Amazon shop, so check that out. But if you would like to learn how to make your own, I'll leave a link for that too. I personally prefer classic hot cocoa, so I made a few of those as well in a milk chocolate casing. You can eat these right away or you can give them away as a gift. If you're ready to enjoy your hot cocoa, just take about 6 to 8 ounces of hot milk in a heat-safe glass and pour it over your hot cocoa pop. Then just gradually mix and stir until your hot cocoa pop has completely dissolved down into your milk. Once everything is nice and dissolved, this is your time to start adding in some more of your favorite toppings. You can go for classic mini marshmallows, or you can even try my personal favorite, which is a heaping scoop of vanilla ice cream right on top. This will gradually cool your hot cocoa just enough for you to sip as you are drinking. It is so good, y'all. Now, if you want to give these away as a gift, here's another little suggestion. You can take one of these little cellophane bags. Mine came with my mold. And you can slide your hot cocoa pop right on down in there. Take some of the bows that you had purchased earlier and just twisty tie them right onto your cellophane bag. And then you can slide them into one of these cute little cases right here. And I do have a link for these in my Amazon shop as well. And as a little added decoration, I am taking some mini marshmallows and adding them into the packaging. Now, this also kind of serves as a buffer so that your hot cocoa pop doesn't break or anything like that when it's moving around, but they also can be added into the hot cocoa itself later. And there we go, all done.
Well, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.